Good, good.
Great.
Good evening, everybody. I think we'll give a few more minutes for people trying to get in. There seems to have been some challenges with technology today. So many people back to school, you name it, loading up on Zooms. And so we'll just give it a couple more minutes if that's okay with everybody. Okay, we'll get started. A couple are saying they're going to join us, but why don't we get started anyway? Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the School Building Committee meeting for the Lowell High School project. This meeting is obviously being conducted by Zoom. I just want to read for the record. Pursuant to Governor Baker's emergency order modifying the state's open meeting law issued on March 12, 2020, meetings will be held using remote participation as follows. Members of the public wishing to speak regarding a specific agenda item shall register to speak in advance by sending an email to pjeffroy@lowellma.gov, indicating the agenda item and primary, secondary backup phone number to call so that they may be conferenced into the meeting. If you have no access to email, you may contact by calling 978-674-4402 to register to speak. So, hello everybody. I'm going to just quickly run through the roll. I think the mayor is going, I don't know if he's on yet, but I believe he will be joining. Mayor John Leahy, Senator Ed Edward Kennedy.
Yeah.
Counselor Elliott. Counselor Samaras, I believe he's joining us. Representative Mom. School Committee Member Connie Martin. Okay. Diane Trad. I do see Diane on, but you're muted. Okay, Diane is here. Marianne Bellata. Michael Fiato.
Here.
Thank you. Christine Clancy. James Cook. I see him. Where's Mr. Cook? I saw him in, he was here a minute ago. Okay. He may have gotten bumped off. But Jim, can you hear me? Well, I see his name. Joel Boyd. Jay Mason.
Here.
Jeff Wilson. See Jeff.
Here.
Ben Opara. Sergeant Peasley. I see Sergeant Peasley.
Here.
Oh, okay.
Here.
Thank you. Maria Sheehy. Hi, Maria.
Here.
Connor Baldwin.
Here.
Billy Joe Turner. Richard Underwood. Michael Vaughn.
Here.
Oh, there's the mayor. Good evening, Mayor. Okay, so welcome everybody. We're going to try and move through this meeting. There'll be a presentation and discussion, and then we will do a vote. So hopefully you all got the agenda. But first, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes from the August 6th, 2020 meeting
Move to accept.
by Senator Kennedy, seconded by the mayor, John Leahy. All in favor, say aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passed. I'm going to turn over next item, review cost estimates and reconciliation process. Is that going to you, Robin, or who's presenting on that?
Miriam Williams will be presenting. Good evening, everybody.
Thank you, Marianne from Skanska will be making the presentation on the cost estimates and the reconciliation. Thank you.
Yes. So just to give you a little background, we received the drawings and we had two different companies, PM&C, who is an independent cost estimator, as well as Suffolk Construction, who two independent cost estimates. Their original estimates were very close to each other. We went through a reconciliation process, which is that we go through every category of cost, and then we confirm our assumptions about scope, unit costs, quantities, etc. And so to bring it to a quick conclusion here, we ended up where both companies reconciled their estimates within budget, and they were within $546,000 of each other. And if you look at that against the project where the construction is $270 million, we were within 1/3 of 1% of each other in terms of their assessment of cost. So I think that's really good news. We're tracking in a very positive way, and I certainly appreciate the thoughtfulness that went into the estimates provided by Suffolk and PM&C, and the support and review that took place with Perkins Eastman and their sub-consultants. Every category of work reviewed with the designer or engineer of that discipline. So we're feeling pretty good about this, that we're on track to deliver the project on budget, and I don't know if there's any questions that anyone might have.
Thank you. Thank you, Marianne. If I can just ask, if you're not speaking, if everybody can mute themselves, I think that we're getting some feedback on the transmission. Maybe that works, maybe it doesn't. So are there questions regarding the cost estimates and the reconciliation process from anybody? I don't see you yell out, but, okay. Well, that is excellent news, to have it so close on a project of this nature. It's one of the things I think we do want to make sure people do understand. Cost has always been a major concern, of course, for any project. And it's very good that it has tracked as closely, nearly identical, and is within budget. So congratulations to everybody who's working on this. You know, this is sign of a, you know, great job. So thank you. The next item on our agenda is to address the design questions from our previous meeting. And so who will be answering that? Let me just, I just want to quickly acknowledge, we have here this evening with us from Perkins Eastman, Joe Drown, and also Robin Greenberg. Hello. We also have Dawn Garilio. We have, and then we have from Skanska, Marianne Williams, and Jim, I know I saw you, Jim Dowd. And then from Suffolk, we also have Chris Wallington, Rex Radloff, and I think that's it from Suffolk so far. So welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. So Robin, I will turn this over to you.
So actually, Madam Manager, I'm going to be speaking to our update. We do have some graphics, and we could share those with you, or we could just talk you through where we've been over the last several months, whatever your preference is.
I think if you can, you have the ability to share your screen, that would be great. I think Phil is doing the meeting, so if we can do that, that'd be helpful.
I think, there we go. Robin's going to share the screen. So just to follow up to what Mary Ann was speaking to earlier, as part of our cost estimating, we actually put some packages out to bid early. And they are represented as early bid package 1A and 1B. 1A was the abatement and demolition of 75 Arcan Drive, and 1B was the gymnasium site work, concrete foundations, and structural steel. So those bids have come in. They appear to be tracking on budget, and we're in the middle of de-scoping those subcontractors. So we just want to update you on what the status was with regard to the early bid package. Next slide. So with the work that the design team has been doing over the last several months is improving the contract documents, working through a lot of the details so that we can put these drawings out to bid so that contractors can put accurate numbers to them. So we are in that process now. We're 60% through, and we're about to submit our materials to MSBA, as we're about to discuss further on in the agenda. But what we did want to talk to you about is some of the things that we have participated in, and in the next slide, we are going to be speaking about some proprietary products. The City Council has approved 3 products that are used throughout the city, and they are specific to the City of Lowell, and so therefore we needed to use them on this project. And that is the master radio box for the fire department communication, the access control system, which is the security system, and of course the sidewalk streetlights that are all throughout the project. So those have been submitted to City Council, and they have been approved, and want to report back to the SBC School Building Committee that has taken place. The next slide is a refresher on the phasing. And as we start to move out of design into construction, it's good to refresh everybody as to the phases in the project. There are 4 phases. The first one being the construction of the gymnasium, and that will actually start in its early work, which is the taking down of the 75 Arcan building and the abatement of that in mid-October. So mid-October 2020, the project will actually start construction off-site and the adjacent site. And then it will be completed, phase 4, in the summer of 2026. So that is a diagram to remind everybody as to the phases involved in the time frame. The next slide, Chris or Rex is going to speak to logistics on site and how what to expect as we start into construction.
Sure. Thank you, Joe. And good evening, everyone. So this is our phase 1 logistics. So the Suffolk team has been ramping up. Actually, we're excited. We're signing a lease to go over to the Boot Mills building October 1st. So we're moving right into the neighborhood, right across from the existing freshman academy. And then right around the 3rd week of October, we'll start taking over the site, begin with putting up fence, putting up the logistics you see here. And the first big activity will be to go in and abate the 75 Arcan site. That'll probably take about a month or so to abate it, get rid of all the hazardous materials. Then we'll come in and actually tear the building down and level the site out. From there, our site contractor will come in, strip off the asphalt, begin to level off the site in December to allow us to put in our drilled foundations, which will happen during January. They're called rammed aggregate piers. They're actually a pretty quiet system. They work pretty well up there. It's a drilling operation, injecting stone into the ground to make the ground have better structural characteristics. And once those are done, that'll lead way into putting in the concrete foundations in February. And we're still on target to have steel come out of the ground in March. So very similar to what you heard last month, we're on target. As Joe mentioned, the bid packages came in great. The drawings were very clear. We got great numbers in from subs, so we're excited to actually move into the site and finally begin work out there.
So we are happy to report that we're on budget and we're on schedule. The next slide. So this leads us to the vote.
Well, thank you. Before we move to the vote, let me ask, does anybody have any questions concerning the presentation in terms of the design questions from the previous meeting or anything that's been talked about?
Madam Manager, I have a quick question.
Yes, thank you, Lieutenant.
The current parking at the Mason building seems like it's going to be cut in half, and they're going to be losing some spots, and that's where police employees currently park now. Am I correct in assuming that we're going to be losing all that parking space? It would look like it would be the parking spots closest to the fence that abates 75 Arcan. I just want to prepare the department to find new parking spots.
Yeah, I'm not sure. This is where in the Masons parking lot?
Yeah, it looks as though the lot there is getting almost cut in half. And if that's the case, that's fine. I just need to prepare the department to find new parking for the employees.
I don't know, Joe, or does anybody?
I can answer that.
Okay.
The existing Mason's lot will not be touched. So our fence line will actually be just on the 75 Arcan site and the parking lot that directly surrounds it.
Got it. Okay,
No,
thank you.
they might be doing something else out there. If we find out, we'll let you know, but it wouldn't be this project.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? I can't see people, so do just speak out if you do. There we go.
Eileen, it's Jim Cook.
Oh, Jim Cook, go ahead.
Sorry I got on there late. The lot that the gentleman was just referring to, that the Mason zone, that was never in the plans to be used, right?
No, No,
Right.
I'm just not quite sure what, they're doing there, but it's not connected to this project.
Right, because I know at one time there was talk about having being able to go straight down Dutton, right past cobblestones and then turn around, but that's off the table, correct?
Well, for bus route and so forth, it is, but it will be an access road,
Okay,
so.
okay.
Senator Kennedy. Oh, you're muted. If you can unmute,
There.
right?
I remember last year, some of the conversation was around meeting thresholds for local residents and minorities and women and so forth. This is it's maybe premature to talk about that, but is that on track? Are we still paying attention to meeting those goals?
Yeah, it is. So the only packages went out was for just materials, not for employees, but that is part of the contract.
Okay.
We do have goals in the contract that have already been agreed to.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Not hearing any questions, then the next step is to take a vote. And this vote, maybe Joe, you can explain it, it's to authorize you to submit these documents to the MSBA. This is the next step in our process. If you want to speak to that just briefly as far as what the vote means.
Sure. What this is as you just pointed out, Madam Manager, that the materials that we've produced so far, which are the drawings and specifications and the supporting information regarding the work that we've been doing with local agencies and communication, gets submitted to MSBA. They review it, and they will send questions back if they have questions, and then we respond to those questions. So it's the next step in a series that is prescribed by MSBA. So
Okay.
that's we're ready to go.
And those, when will those be submitted?
They will be submitted the 25th of September.
Okay, great.
Uh,
Okay, so
I have a
Madam
question,
Manager.
if I could.
Yeah,
How long
what-
does it take them to review? Is there a time frame where once you submit them that they have to get back to you?
Yes, they usually take 2 to 4 weeks on a project this size. I would expect that they're going to take every amount of that time because it's as large as it is.
Yeah, thank you.
okay. Anybody
Madam
else?
Manager?
Senator Kennedy.
Yeah, if I could, just to get the motion on the floor, I would move that we authorize Gansker and Perkins Eastman to submit a 60% construction documents package to the MSBA.
Great, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second
Seconded
it.
by Mr. Cook. All right. I vote in favor. Mayor Leahy. I'm getting a thumbs up. If you don't want to unmute, just give us a thumbs up. Senator Kennedy.
Yes.
I don't believe Councilor Elliott is here, or did Councilor Samaras make it on? Connie Martin? I don't think so. Mary Ann Balad, Diane Trad. Sorry, Diane Trad.
Yes.
Okay. Mary Ann Balada.
Yes.
Christine Clancy. James Cook.
Yes,
Joel Boyd. Jay Mason.
Yes.
Jeff Wilson.
Yes.
Ben Opara. Lieutenant, you're still listed as sergeant, so we need to change our roster. Lieutenant Peasley.
Thank you. Yes.
Maria Sheehy.
Yes.
Connor Baldwin.
Yes.
Billy Joe Turner. Richard Underwood. Michael Vaughn.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, there were no opposition, so this passed. So, So maybe if you can speak to what the next steps will be. We typically meet once a month. If there's something to report, maybe that won't be the case in October because we'll probably still be reviewing, but I don't know if you want to, Mary Ann or Joe, if you want to speak to that.
Sure. So we have a few items that we can discuss. The next step, obviously, is once the bids have been confirmed and reviewed by the construction project management team and architectural design team, they will get executed as a contract with the early bid contractors, and that work will begin to proceed in the middle of October. Then followed by that, we'll be completing the documents for 90% construction documents, and that's our next cost estimate is targeted for the end of October to December 4th. So it's October 30th through December 4th. Then we're slated to submit our 90% documents to MSBA December 11th. Similar to what we're doing today, our next step will be to submit in December 11th. So we'll be meeting prior to that to have similar conversation about reporting back on where the project is on budget and schedule and in preparation of submitting there.
Okay.
And our final bid documents that we'll be sending out for the entire project remaining is scheduled for February 1st, 2021.
Thank you. And my apologies. I missed in the roll call Michael Fiato. Michael Fiato, the new head of school of the high school, who has a vested interest in this project. I apologize.
No worries. Would you like me to say yes?
Sure.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. And as I said, I know we introduced you on a Zoom before, but you know, first day of school and everything happening. I appreciate you being here, Mr. Fiato. And
Important decisions being made. I wanted to be a part of it.
yeah, thank you. And you will be a part of it. Okay. Does anybody have anything else? So it seems then, Joe, from what you just said, probably the next meeting of this group would be in November, perhaps, or in advance of the December submission? Or update?
Yeah, our meeting similar to this prior to our 90% submission to MSBA would be before December 11th. And so our cost estimating is going through October 30th to December 4th. So there's about a 5-week period there and then some reconciliation. So it would be somewhere in the week preceding probably of December 11th.
Okay. All right. So it would be early December then.
Yes.
And so unless something came up that we need to meet before that, otherwise I just want to let people know to expect a similar type of meeting in early December, and we will keep you posted. So unless there's any questions, but again, good news, we're on budget, we're on time. Thank you and congratulations.
I have a question.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
So the early stages of this construction, up until say January maybe, when are we going to be using Dutton Street? So more specifically, how is that going to impact cobblestones with what's going on with the pandemic? And when are they going to have to be out of that street that they're using for outside seating? Or are they going to have to be out of there?
Do we have, I don't know if anyone can answer that at this point. My understanding, Mr. Mayor, is that it's going to be down the road as far as access. Chris, do you know in terms of accessing that access road would be for deliveries once the school was open? Is that fair to say?
That's
Those would
correct.
be on off hours, so.
That is correct. Yeah, we won't be doing any work in that road. I do believe that National Park Service is doing some work on the trolley tracks there. But there's nothing we'll have there until the school opens, and then they might need it for deliveries and such.
Okay,
We'll be
Thank
accessing the job site off of Arcan Street.
okay.
So,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Mayor, with any luck, we'll be out of the pandemic.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, if there isn't any other questions or comments, if not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved by the senator, seconded by the mayor. All in favor? Thank you very much.
Aye.
Okay. And good
Thank
luck.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.